as the cocoa. The governor has told us that he didn't do any of this because it's against Igbo. He did it for the sake of southern Nigeria. So all of us should go back and support. Even the candidate of PDP, he has a relationship with Igbos. I told you, they don't believe in all of these things, but a lot of you you have so much emotion that are attached to some of these things that they could leverage on and steal from you. But did you get what they are playing there? Okay, let's leave them out of it. After the whole drama with the Wike's message to his lieutenants, our next mission.
The second phase of the war we are going after the election, we have to recover our party that buccaneers have hijacked, vampires have hijacked. We must recover it. That is the second phase of the war we are going to. So everybody should be prepared. After the governorship election, we must take back our party. We must take back our party. We will not allow these buccaneers to continue destroying our party. We are proud of what we have done in River State. We are proud we say we wanted a southern president, and we stood by it. And we thank Nigerians. I thank APC governors who came out boldly to say, look, power should shift. Power should shift for the unity of this country, for the betterment of this country. For me, anybody in the South, I find you're a Southerner, that's what I stand. After the South finishes, it goes back to the North. Let it be established that there must always be power shift. And that's the same thing we're doing in the state here. There's nobody at the national level of the party you should listen to. None of them worth listening to. None of them. Not one. You came to steal, and he has stolen enough. That's why he can go now. He's building a university with our resources. So now he has stolen enough. Okay, let him go. Let us build back our party. The second.
That's going to be their next stage after the elections. To his lieutenants. But when he said that a G5 made a deal, I think that included your state where Seyi Makinde is the governor. Now, Makinde faced the same sort of a pushback from his own party members in your state. The only difference is that it was a little bit surgical about how, even though PDP controls your state, but they were trounced by APC for Tinubu. He faced resistance. They organized rallies and all of that against the rumor that he was going to, hand over the state to APC. And let me tell you, okay, Seyi Makinde may not be in charge of who is going to vote or who you are going to vote for, but technically, right, when you are unable, okay, to mobilize the party agent, the party members who are going to do other mobilization to ensure that those who want to vote for them are enticed, are mobilized, and the rest of them, like APC were doing, right? That is like internal sabotage. Usually, the reason why all of them want to win states is because the resources from those states, they can use them to fund political party, rig elections, and all of that stuff. And once everything is done, everyone who participated will be rewarded with appointment, with contract, with all of that. So if they also win federal, okay, that's even like a bigger juice. Some people will have to migrate to the federal Abuja to go and get appointments, get their own contracts. They will leave the state for a lot of Amugbalek bears who are going to be doing all overs. They will be doing like, the big boys. But if they have no federal to go to, even all of their big weights in politics, they will have to feast on whatever resources is left, okay, in the states. That's how it's done. So they didn't like the idea that power should come down to the southern Nigeria, even though a Yoruba man and then a Igbo man from southern Nigeria were running. So they were not happy because that's not their own. They are not interested in who is this or that. Is because if PDP win Abuja, they will go there and become minister, become RP and all of those things, okay? So Seyi Makinde on his own, right, kind of, you know, being part of G5, I also technically have a way of, you know, kind of cutting them down in a way that they wouldn't have access, enough resources to actually push any number for Atiku. Well, here is the problem. On the part of the APC, Egbekegbe, right, they believe that Seyi Makinde was so good in the Nigeria context, that it will take a miracle for any other party to take over your state if Seyi Makinde is running for governor. Just like Sanwo-Olu, having that confidence, and they're like, okay, what? Okay, not like Sanwo-Olu, Seyi. That in the context of leadership and all of that, it's done so well. We don't care about all this PDP, this APC, we don't care. But for those who are smarter politically, they believe that Seyi Makinde, with that singular move, okay, which presidential election could have given him an idea to test run, okay, the success or progress of him being their governor for 3.5 years in an election, right? So he slowed it down. So he would have to test that on himself now, where a lot of them now kind of have a lot of stone to grind with him. A kind of a big gamble for a chess player. If, you know, I'm not a chess player. I heard that chess players, they love taking a risk, a lot of big one. Okay? So to this G5 or what have you that Wike mentioned, for Seyi Makinde in Oyo, especially with the coalition of political parties and this frame, what have you, that came together, there's a coalition of a group of different political groups, right, that actually came together, that finally nominated Seyi Makinde in 2019. Now, a lot of them have a lot to say. Some of you remember Ladoja. Let's listen to this.
But not only in the issue of your state, but in the issue of a person in power. And also to have a peculiar position to repeat Tinubu. So tí ẹ wá sọ pé òun ní àná ní gómìnà ṣe kí ni gómìnà fẹ́ fi sọ̀yà fún pé òun ní gómìnà ìgbé kó máa yan àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ rẹ̀ jẹ lọ. Torí èèyàn bí èèyàn jẹ ló ṣe rí o náwó fún àwọn sẹ́nẹ́tọ̀ mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta ló yàn wọ́n. Ta ló yàn wọ́n? Out of bread, so mi rò pé kaba ẹ̀kọ́ lọ́n fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. So bọ́bá àtijọ́ sátidé ẹ̀jọ́ tọrọ náà mo fọlọ́n bẹ̀yẹn gbogbo nǹkan tẹ́ bá ṣe ẹ̀fí sílẹ̀ kẹ́ lọ dìbò bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe máa ń dìtẹ́ tẹ́lẹ̀. Benjamin de tẹ́lẹ̀. Àwọn ọmọ bá yẹn ti nísìnyí lẹ́nu tó ń yé báyìí. Ìkànnù àwọn èèyàn wa ọlọ́pọ̀ èèyàn náà ti jọ yìí. Àjẹwọ́ ìjà àjẹwọ́. NNPP ti gba ó ti join SDP ti join. Àwọn ikú máa fi ń lò lọ́wọ́ lánàá lọ́wọ́ lónìí sọ́tún lágbègbè ó ti yẹ.
In case if you don't understand Yoruba, Ladoja, that's a former governor of the same Oyo state, one of the instruments that is instrumental to Seyi Makinde becoming the adopted governorship candidate of PDP in 2019. It was a coalition of all of them, like that agreement. The coded message is sending this the Esha Diveshiman di Tele. I know a lot of you are you're having fun in that comment section, especially on YouTube, okay? I've told you, if you see any stray dog, I saw something like something talk show. If we see anybody where they do YouTube talk show, Juju talk show, Juju music talk show, don't riche. Don't come onto Mayegun's Diary Politico to expose yourselves, okay? Enough that you are causing a distraction, all right? Then when I saw Ayela Lawi, I was Oloribu, no wonder. That the only way people will get to know you is that you are a stray dog on Mayegun's Diary Politico. Imagine that. Imagine people saying, are you Ayela La Juju Music Talk Show on YouTube? I saw you on Mayegun's Diary Politico. So you are that stray dog. You are the one with Ayela, all that stuff, okay? Anyway, I am going to continue from where we stopped. All right. So, Seyi Makinde lost all the 3 senatorial seats or so from Oyo State to APC. He lost almost all of the House of Representatives seats to APC. Then they lost the presidential election to APC. Now, you see all of them who were candidates who were supposed to have benefited from the supposed good governance of Seyi Makinde during elections like this. It was meant to be natural if this G5 thing didn't come to it. All right. A lot of them would have kind of become big boys on the back of Seyi Makinde PDP. So they lost. So Seyi is now calling them to come now. I mean, let's work together for this state. In one of the meetings, right, he told them that he is willing and ready to sacrifice his second term for Tinubu's presidency. Now, so some people waited the room, they shout, amen, amen to that. Anyway, politics, so we're just talking about politics here. However, even you, where they have kind of brainwashed, somehow. Did you see what happened in Lagos yesterday? That plane, that train and bus collision. Did you see that? Did you see those who were victims? In their tens. 3 people died. May their souls rest in peace. But did you see those who were injured? They were dumped on the floor of Lasuth. Let me see if I have the clip. That is outside the emergency unit of Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, Lasuth. Okay? Did you notice that when the victims were laid bare on the parking lot of that emergency unit, And they started calling for blood donation. Do you know that among the victims who were laid down on that floor, gasping for breath, for survival, nobody cared whether they are Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, or Christian, or Muslim. Not just that, not just that. When they called out to that people should come and donate blood, that they're going to need a lot of blood, and people started going there en masse for blood tests and then donating blood. Do you know that those who were collecting those blood in those blood banks, they were not asking people if they were donors. They were not asking the donors if they were Yoruba blood, Abi Igbo blood, Christian blood, or Abi Muslim blood. Nobody cared around that time. Apart from the fact that the unfortunate accident that I've just been told claimed the lives of 6 people. That unfortunate accident exposed the inadequate medical facilities in Lagos. 24 years of mismanagement, corruption, and a court-like kind of government, so secretive that they are so scared to lose the place to any other people who have never been part of them. 50, how many people were actually involved in that accident, right? 50 or so. Bon, they were staff of the BRT. Accident happens all over the world. Yeah. Trains derail. Train derails. Train hit buses, cars. But sometimes, right, the accident itself is not what really crushes the soul of the people who have witnessed so many horror of accidents, especially in Nigeria. Not the accident, it is the response, the medical response, the survival rate of such accident, and the rest of them. Like, it's just like, just don't get involved in accident. Because the process of trying to save you could even be more excruciating, as they will say, excruciating. Yeah, sorry, I have to say that slowly. Such a very, right? Excruciating pain. The kind of pains that are like, just, it's going to feel like it's going to, you know what I mean? And there you are. Carry him, they have shot him, the leg don't break, 4 people will carry you back. Hey, help us, put them inside that wheelbarrow, put them inside that water truck. Hey, hospital, help us. So the whole thing, we are sorry, he's dead. That's why you shouldn't even want to witness it. But everywhere you go, if not for Asiwaju àwọn olè, Lagos would have ọmọ ìyá mi ò dẹ̀ gba advice yìí.
Alpha àbọ̀dá mọ́ta jẹ́ tó sáré ṣe létí lẹ́lẹ́kejì ìwọ ṣe bèèrè lọ́wọ́ ara ẹ̀ pé kí ló máa ń fà á tó yẹ pé àwọn tó máa ń fún yín lówó ká máa fi jà kiri yẹn, tó máa ń fún yín lówó pé ká lọ bàbí kan jẹ́, tó máa ń fún yín lówó pé ká ṣe nǹkan tí ò dáa. Ìgbà tó ń ṣe birthday party wọn, ìgbà tó ń ṣe wedding fọmọ wọn, ìgbà tó ń ṣe ìkómọ́lé wọn, kí ló tó invite ẹ síbẹ̀? Ṣé wọn gbọ́dọ̀ rí wọn mọ́ wọn ni? Ṣé ò lọ́pọ̀ lórí ẹ ni? Látijọ́ tó ti mọ̀ wọ́n, o notice pé ibi pé kó lọ bà nǹkan jẹ́ ló máa invite ẹ lọ, ibi pé kó lọ dà nǹkan ló máa invite ẹ lọ. Látijọ́ tó ti wá mú kó wá jáde lọ ẹ, ṣọ́ọ̀tì ní tó bá ti ń lọ ńjọ́ kan rí kó mọ́mọ́ tàwọn dání kẹjọ lọ jàjà yẹn. Bọ̀bọ́ láti ẹ̀ náà, jẹ́ kó rí ẹ kó ṣí náà, jẹ́ kó ọpọlọ ẹ pé náà, má borúkọ ìdílé yín jẹ́ náà. Ṣé inú ẹ ń dùn torí pé àwọn ọmọ ọ̀tá àwọn èèyàn tẹ̀ lẹ́yìn, wọ́n ṣe tuálé fún ẹ, wọ́n fojú ọmọ ọ̀tá wò ẹ, wọ́n lè invite síbi nǹkan gidi. Bọ̀bọ́ jẹ́ ìṣó tọ̀rọ̀ fún ẹ, àsìkò tó yẹ kó stop láti láwọ̀ òjìlẹ̀ lélẹ́yìí. Gbogbo nǹkan tó ń ṣe yẹn, àwọn tó wà ń ta ń bẹ̀ yẹn, àwọn ọmọ bọ̀tí tó ń wò, àwọn ọmọ ilé tó ń wò yẹn àwọn ọmọ tó kàwé tó ń wò yẹn tó wà ta tó ń protest yẹn béèrè nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ wọn kó lè ṣàlàyé fún ẹ kó o lè mọ oríṣi tó fi ń wà ta kó o ṣe pé wọ́n ní kó wá bẹ̀ kó kó wá ṣe fàájì àbí kó wá máa tẹ̀dí àbí kó wá gba fóònù àbí kó wá ṣe nǹkan tó ń wù ẹ́ ọmọ ọba ìjà yìí fún wọn náà ni o kí wọn náà lè kú onúṣẹ kó lè pa àwọn pẹrẹntì ẹ mò ń sọ fún ẹ torí pé ọmọ ọba lèmi náà àjọ wà ní o ó ti yí ẹ ìjà tó ní pẹ̀lú pàdé ẹ yẹn tẹ́ ń léra yín kiri láti last year ẹ má wàá jàánu protest ẹ pera yín lọ́kàn ẹ kájọ ṣọ̀kan kí gbogbo kan lè bá.
Ajere ọmọ ìyá mi. Somebody in our comment section there said that laying people outside the hospital is called, before they take them into emergency or whatever, right? It's called building a triage. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Is it called triage? Anyway, so a triage is a temporary makeshift medical, a makeshift medical spot that is built, right, around an emergency where something like a mass collision or something happened, like an emergency or a mass accident. Let's use that accident, okay? Before they will take everybody to different hospitals for medical attention, okay? They will build the triage next to very close to the scene of the incident, okay? Baba, then carry people from the rail track going to Oshodi. They carried them from that Oshodi to Lassuth. And when they got to Lassuth, because of overcrowding, not any triage, because of overcrowding, they had to build the triage that you call triage, and they have to build a makeshift outside. But before then, as they are bringing them, they were dropping them on the floor there. So I think I understand what a triage is, but you know what I mean? A lot of you can make excuses for them, or maybe not. Okay, let's go to the scene where this happened. I mean, let's actually, there's this BBC Yoruba report, so the credit is theirs. Okay, but let's go to where that happened. The eyewitness, what did they say? Right? Then maybe that will help us on this tonight. So please.
Ẹ káàárọ̀ níbi tí ẹ ti ń wò wá tí ẹ ti ń gbọ́ wa ojúmọ́ ire ni à ń kí gbogbo wa lọ́lọ́kan òjọ̀kan. Orí ìkànnì BBC News Yorùbá náà ni ẹ wà lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ níbi a sì wà ní agbègbè Ṣógúnlẹ̀ ní ọ̀nà Òṣòdì níbi tí a ti gbọ́ pé ọkọ̀ ojú irin kan ó kọlù mọ́tò BRT tí ń gbé àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó lọ sí ibiṣẹ́. Èyí tẹ́ bá ń wò wá lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ ẹ rí pé àwọn oníṣẹ́ pàjáwìrì tí ń wá bí wọ́n ṣe máa gbé ọkọ̀ náà kúrò lójú irin ọ̀hún náà. Tí ẹ bá ṣe ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa orí ìkànnì BBC News Yorùbá náà ni ẹ wà lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́. Orí fọ́nrán tí ẹ̀ ń wò lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí ni mọ́tò tó gbé àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó ní àárọ̀ yìí tí a fi gbọ́ pé ọkọ̀ ojú irin kan ló kọlù mọ́tò náà ní àárọ̀ yìí. Òun náà lẹ́ ń rí lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ pàjáwìrì náà ti wà níbi tí ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ náà ti ṣẹlẹ̀ láti rí pé wọ́n gbé ọkọ̀ náà kúrò lójú irin náà. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn èèyàn ló ṣèṣe ṣùgbọ́n àìtí lè sọ iye àwọn èèyàn tó ṣèṣe àti iye àwọn èèyàn tó pàdánù ẹ̀mí wọn nínú ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ náà. Àwọn èèyàn sì wà nínú ọkọ̀ ojú irin náà tí wọ́n sì ń gbé fún láti rí pé wọ́n gbé ọkọ̀ náà kúrò lójú irin. Tí ẹ bá ń wọnú fọ́nrán yìí ẹ rí pé àwọn èèyàn sì ń jókòó sínú ọkọ̀ ojú irin náà tí wọ́n retí láti máa rin ìrìn àjò wọn lọ síbi tí wọ́n lọ. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ṣe ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa orí ìkànnì BBC News Yorùbá náà ni ẹ wà sí wa ní òpópónà
Yes.
Ẹ káàárọ̀ sà. Ẹja bá mo lára mu. Àwọn tẹ́ ń wò lórí fọ́nrán àwọn tẹ́ ń wò lójú fọ́nrán ni àwọn àgbà òṣìṣẹ́ tí ó wà níbi ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ náà tí ó ti ṣẹlẹ̀. Àwọn náà ló lè bá wa fìdí múlẹ̀ iye àwọn èèyàn tí ó ṣèṣe àti iye àwọn èèyàn tó pàdánù ẹ̀mí wọn níbi ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ náà. Ẹ káàárọ̀ sà. Láti BBC News Yorùbá àmọ́ bóyá ẹ lè bá wa. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ̀sẹ̀ ń darapọ̀ mọ́ orí ìkànnì BBC News Yorùbá náà ni ẹ̀wà ń gbìyànjú láti bá àwọn ọ̀gá iṣẹ́ gbàjáwìrì sọ̀rọ̀ láti fìdí iye àwọn tí ó pàdánù ẹ̀mí wọn àtàwọn tó ṣèṣe nínú ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ náà. Wọ́n ní bí aago 7:30 náà ní ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ náà ṣẹlẹ̀.
Well, by the time we got here, we got 2 adult female that we rescued. One was under the concrete, and another woman who was recovered from another area. However, my car played another death earlier, which we were happy. So it's a male. Possibly by the time we are getting updates, make the revelation about it. So far, that is what it is. Because we can't actually say this because the information Nigerian Railway Corporation staff, the flag officer, trying to flag down the boss. The man was alleged, because we were not there, it was alleged that the man refused to listen and proceeded. Well, the road infrastructure, because one of the major problems of crashes, the road infrastructure approaching the rail is difficult. So we don't know what happens between the road infrastructure and the negligence of the driver or the refusal of the driver to abide by the road. Based on this particular, the train was not on ice. Because if it had been on ice, that is what had happened.
Get the number of casualties
So far. Well, it's 2. But in the next updates, let's say 2 female, 1 adult.
That's 3 now.
Ẹjọ́ ní ṣókí.
Agreement between us on the scene now is to the next update will give you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Ẹ ṣé gan sir.
Make it tell us what they appear to.
Bá wa ṣàlàyé ní ṣókí náà ní èdè Yorùbá.
Well, nǹkan tí aago 8 kù díẹ̀ la gbọ́ pé kọ́kọ́ ṣẹlẹ̀ pé wàhálà ṣẹlẹ̀ lójú irin. Wàhálà tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní pé mọ́tò ọkọ̀ rélùwéè tó gbá mọ́tò ìjọba, mọ́tò bọ́ọ̀sì tó kọjá ibi tó ti gba àwa ìgbà tá a máa débì a sọ pé ó ti pa èèyàn 2 84 ẹ̀rìnlélọ́gọ́rin wípé ni wọ́n fara pa tó dẹ̀ kú lọ sí ilé ìwòsàn.
Àwọn mélòó lè wá rò wípé bóyá wọ́n farapa, àwọn mélòó ni wọ́n ti jẹ́ pé.
mẹ́rìnlélọ́gọ́rin ló ti farapa tán kó lọ sí ilé ìwòsàn, méjì kò ti kú.
So mẹ́rìnléníọgọ́rin means 84 people injured, 2 people dead, according to that eyewitness this morning. However, when they got delivered at the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, Lasut, Joe, where is that again? I bet, where is Lasut again? Oh, I know where Lasut is, but where is Lasut? Help me. How close is Lasut to Shogunle in Oshodi? Okay, Ikeja. I know, okay, Ikeja, okay. That should be their general hospital then, Lasut. Lagos State University and Teaching Hospital, Lasut. Right. So how far is Oshodi to Ikeja? When injured victims were taken to the emergency section, or everybody was just like bundled down there? Right. That should be how long? I mean, okay. But that was where they now said they were building triage. But the real report is not a triage. The early callers, the family members who heard the news and they rushed down to where they took their families or loved one to, they found them there on the floor. And in fact, they were protesting it as well. And they were being told to calm down. Please calm down. We need to make provision. We don't have enough or adequate facility to take all of these people in just like that. I mean, you know what I mean? And that is what their media guys have done to. Well, that's actually not what I want to point out. I don't want to point out the failure yet. You all know that, right? It has, I mean, it's exposing that, Abby. I want to point out something else, and which is, since that happened yesterday, and I've been following the development, following the whole thing, right? I realized that I was right. I am still right. When I believe that, when I said the criminal Nigerian politicians who have made us to become sort of a wounded dogs, emotionless clouds, and all that kind of a thing, because our core, should I say, our core values have been leveraged on to have become their most potent ingredient in their divide and rule, even when they don't believe in any of them. Lagos State is where we have been trying to educate a lot of ignoramuses. They are the politicians that are making you think somebody is your enemy or somebody is coming for you. They are leveraging on your fear, building on your fear, so that in that your state of mind, where you can't make any informed decision, they can use that to their advantage in keeping power, then dump you later to your own. But for those who are smart enough, who knows them very well, like myself, who never get carried away about all this noise, so to say, events that is happening in Lagos and people's reaction to this accident as well, has proved me wrong. I mean, so has proved me right, rather, and has proved a lot of people wrong as well. And what is that? It is that if people are allowed and nobody is feasting on their worst fear, religion, tribe, ethnic, and every other, that always pop their heads during election. They always rear their heads during elections only. If you take all of them away, People just want to survive. People just want to help where they can. And like your politicians, as they don't give a damn about anything to do with religion and all that stuff. A lot of you or a lot of us just want to survive as well. And in our time of, in our vulnerable time, where we are all victims of this bad governance as well as terrible leaders, when everything comes down to us, you realize that nobody's going to ask you whether you are Yoruba, Igbo. In fact, you are not going to ask whether the person who is offering you the hand of help, because that may be the only hand you need to actually survive and live. A little drop of blood that they want you to spill for their political survivor could be the single drop of blood that you actually need to stay alive. You know why? I have Ijebu blood running in me who will never take nonsense. I am a blooded Igbo man. This is my blood. This Igbo blood. You see, you can give yourselves different. You can, But guess what? We all bleed. If we get caught, we all bleed red, right? And if you take tribe, religion, ethnic, even politics, and every other vices that you have been fed with, right? You realize that we are actually all humans. But politicians don't want us to feel humans. They want us to feel like animals, carnivorous animals, devourers. You know what I mean? Hate, vengeance. At the end of the day, if you study it well, as you have seen the exposure in the health sector, the lapses and the short, what do you call it in the health sector, which is obvious, right? The day you will need them to save your life could be the day you realize that they actually don't give a damn about you. You know that, right? And it may just be that blood of that Christian, that Yoruba man's blood. It may just be that Igbo man's blood that will eventually keep you alive. I don't know. I've been thinking about this since yesterday. I saw people who killed to donate their blood for the victims of the accident. And for those who are the victims fighting for their lives, they probably have no clue whether the blood they are actually passing into his or her body is that of Igbo, is that of Christian, is that of... Now, the point here is this. If you take the veil of everything that you think you know and you are so right, no, that you are right. Everything you've been told or fed, and you believe them so much, especially majority of them who are laced and they're tied to tribe, religion, and every other thing like that. If you take them off, do you know what you are going to see? You are going to see hearts, millions of people like you, people like me, who are actually the victims of the system. Yes. Those who suffered it through schools, but they can't really find a job. They are poor because the establishment wanted them that way. Those who couldn't endure it, and they embarked on this a journey of no return, trekking through the Sahara, trying to run away from the economic, shock that the system created. Some didn't make it to their destination. You know that? There are so many of you that have become so, you've lost loved ones simply because you couldn't afford a simple medical bills, right? Because the system didn't give a damn about you. So if you take every other thing, like I'm a Muslim, I'm a Christian, I'm a Yoruba, I'm an Igbo, and the rest of them that they always fly about during elections, you realize that you are just a victim waiting to happen. Remember that saying, Yesterday said survivors are today's victims. Today's survivors are tomorrow's victims. Since tomorrow will turn to today, and it will go on and on like that, we are all victims waiting to happen. And nobody is spared, so to say. So when they spread it, when they fly all this nonsense simply because of whatever agenda, which is more political, and those who are flying them are mostly the same people who have actually like abandoned you on everything else. My advice is, well, that's always been my advice. Please choose your poison carefully. Do not blame anyone after that, okay? I was driving today. I went to see a friend, and I was live. Then somebody came on that broadcast, right, and said, you are sitting abroad, enjoying your life. Look at everywhere and all of that, right? And then that person said, but you are instigating the young people in Nigeria to go and fight their leaders. I have heard that many times. Are you with me? It is called, hey, there is a name for it too. Why did I forget that right away? But it's something like this, right? Just point all fingers at just anyone but yourself. I'll explain. I left Nigeria 11 years ago, 2012, June. And since then, I have not been part or parcel of either selecting or encouraging you to choose any of your leaders in Nigeria. I have only been a, what do they call that thing again? What they call that thing we remit all the time? External remit. No. We have a name for it. Diaspora remittances. No. There's remittance. There's remittances and all that, right? I've just been economically contributing to Nigeria. But back in Nigeria, the people that are always screaming, they want to kill us. So this country is getting worse. Our life is in danger. They've always been those who have been choosing their leaders in Nigeria. But do you know something? They have never wanted to be responsible for their choices and their decisions. When they are trying to choose their criminal leaders, hi, Mayegun, I will be here. I was here. Buhari is a murderer. Buhari is a criminal. Tinubu is a criminal. This one is a criminal. Shut up your mouth. Where's your papa? Where's your mama? Where's everybody? They were like that. Then Buhari became their president. Hey, you see, God has shamed you. You see this useless Mayegun. Buhari is now the president. You idiot, come back home if they born you well. I had no plan of coming back to live there anyway, sincerely. I mean, what would I be doing there? Right? But I've got families. And over time, I have watched many people, the known, the unknown, right? Depreciated so much economically. And I've been keeping record of all of that on this Mayegun's Diary Political. But you know something? When Buhari started there biting them, some of them were enduring. Wailing, wailer. This Mayegun, he will never see anything good in this country. This Mayegun just want to, you know what I mean? And I kept telling them. They kept losing their jobs. the naira kept depreciating in its value. They kept devaluing it. Terrorists started spreading in Nigeria, right? Corruption became the legal thing in Nigeria. Depends on who is stealing. Sure, you get. Return loot were relooted by criminals. And I was mentioning them all around. Poverty started escalating in Nigeria until Nigeria got to a stage they said Nigerians are now living in multi-dimensional poverty. Do you know something? The ways that brought this upon themselves, they will still come on Mayegun's diary political. It's not everything that you should be we should be praying. Mayegun, the people that told me that God will shame me because Bokwari is now their president, they came back here. Mayegun, I understand that you know everything you said is, but I'm just, let's pray for them. Let's pray for our leader. Let's ask God to help our leaders. I said, you are not abusing me again. I'm not the reason for your problems again. I'm no longer wailing wailer. You are just coming to, don't worry, continue. Now, Bokwari strangulates them and all of that. And at the end of the day, they started blaming me. They said, that's what I wanted anyway. They said, is it not what you wanted? I've never seen anybody like this in my life. Anything like this is criticize, abuse, criticize. Is that not what you wanted? Is that not the bad news you always want to report? They started blaming me. They said, I'm the enemy, their enemy. They said, I am the one who is now telling the young people to resist the criminals and their lies. So, I am the people say that, people have blamed me for so many things, okay? I have told you I'm just like a therapist. People come here, they blame me, they go to bed, they're like, yes, I don't give out to that Mayegun tonight. That boy will never forget. He will never forget me in his life. That program last night, I attack anybody. All of them, they don't like Nigeria. Let us pray for our Shiwaju. Let us pray for our this and that. I have dealt with that all the time. But honestly, right, I am as victim as yourselves. It's just that I have admitted that I'm a victim. I have never contributed to any of this that anybody is going through in Nigeria. My effort is to see if you know better. Maybe you can stop it. And if you stop it, you stop putting the lives of many of us in danger. Because that's what you have done. Nigeria is like a threat to our life. Now, I am not the one. Listen to this. I am not the one, right, who is making deals with terrorists in Nigeria. I am the one exposing them. I give you evidence, okay? Terrorists in Nigeria are not being prosecuted for their crimes. There is no plan to prosecute them. When there is no plan to prosecute terrorists, right, then that means there is no plan to end terrorism. It is my job as somebody from Nigeria myself who has interest and who has family there. It is my job to raise alarm and tell you all of that. Even when you want to live in that denial. Some of you, if you are not yet a victim, okay, whatever they say is happening is not happening. I understand. But do you also know that there are many people who have been saved for at least not living in denial, for knowing the truth that this is going on and it could happen to anybody anytime. I exposed that. The corruption in APC, the indebtedness they have dipped Nigeria into, the destruction of the education sector, whereby more children are now out of school. The children that are supposed to be in school, you have more of them out of schools now. And guess what? The Southwest Nigeria is also building up. In Lagos State alone, 2.6 million children who are supposed to be in school during school hours, they are not in school. Not in any schools. Not that they are skipping schools or they are not registered at all. They are hawking and then doing other slave jobs within Lagos. Do you want to know something? More than 60% of them are Yorubas. Yeah, I said it. In fact, 71% of them are Yorubas. All these are things that bad leadership have done to us. And in years to come, we are going to face the consequences of all of this. So how am I the problems then? Why should I be your problem? shouldn't be. Of course, I am to so many of you. And you are not honest. You are dishonest. You should tell the people why you don't like Mayegun, okay? Don't turn around and say, you sit down abroad. You are trying to cause a problem in Nigeria. Your government is causing problems in Nigeria. Poverty is a problem. You don't know that. Do you? The more poor people you have, the more crime you're going to have, the more, child abuse you're going to see, the more domestic abuses you're going to witness, the more, authority abuse of power you're going to witness. These are the symptoms of poverty. And in this case, right, it gives them power. The chaos gives them power. That's a problem. Where people, terrorists, are so powerful that the government of Nigeria said they are changing money because of kidnappers. Because kidnappers have multi-billion naira in stock that people have paid to them through Nigerian banking system, through Nigeria NIA, DSS, and every other security agency in Nigeria. Billions of your money have been paid into the hands of terrorists. You know why? Your government is not fighting terrorism. The military that is acquiring weapons to combat terrorism, they are acquiring all these weapons like they are just keeping them for the day that they are going to crush you in case if there is any uprising. Have you not seen that? Terrorists are making deals with state governors across northern Nigeria. Do you not see that? How is that then, Mayegun? Telling you all of this is for you to know who you are dealing with. So when you now turn around and say, you this Mayegun, you want to cause problem in Nigeria, there's already problem. Now, because you never become victim, right? If you have become a victim, now your family member go to tell us, say, problem in Nigeria. They say, why? Why did you say problem day? And they will tell you that my brother, when they talk, say, now because they don't like Tinubu or they don't like CPC, that's why they are saying problem. The problem, they don't kill him. Who kill him? Now Fulani terrorists kill him. Ha! Why? What happened? We paid ransom, but they can't discover say half of the money are fake money. And the money was the money we collected during the elections, you know what I mean? But they kill him. That my brother no believe say well, in Nigeria, but they don't kill him. That's what I'm saying. Until you become a victim, some of you don't believe anything is happening, and it's fine. There are those who believe, and there are those who have been survivors of this whole thing. So how is Mayegun then the problem? How? Telling you that if you believe in the system, you will come back burnt. If you try to fight the system using the rules set by the same establishment, you're going to get burnt. That's exactly what is going on with the INEC and the election materials. You heard it. The appeal court said they should let Labour Party, Obi and the rest, they should access the election materials they used for your election. The election is just 2 weeks ago or so, right? They've disobeyed the court. Because according to them, the court cannot really tell them what to do because they are independent. You go see film. They have already started reconfiguring all those beavers. Okay? Even though there is something called a digital footprint, even if they reformat them, even if they clear them, even if they delete everything, ordinary, this is my phone. There is this particular app. There are so many anyway. Once you download them, all you have to do is just to put in the whole backend link or whatever they call it. Everything will then delete. Are you with me? Everything. You go recover everything. Everything. I mean everything. Do you know that there's nothing like I've deleted this one. I've deleted all of that messages. Nothing is really deleted though. Depends on who is looking. Sure, you know. The Abivas in Nigeria is like an Android tablet. Okay. You know all those Android tablets. And just like Android phones. Okay. So your Android phone, right, can perform many functions, right? And whatever it does, it's just going to be how and what you command into it to do. So once it is linked, either offline or online, okay, every activity on it, even when you reformat it, every activity on it can still be can still be traced back. So the younger generation, the Gen Z said, they are going to recover every what have you. However, INEC says, take it to the court. And then you see if the court is going to take it from you. All they have to do is to deny the access or sign any evidence, right? To say, oh, this is what we got, this is how we got the number, this is how we declare the winner, okay? So they have to sign it so that then all these parties can use them in their case. But when there is no evidence, you can't prove that they rig or they didn't rig. And to the APC, all win and win. Legitimacy or no legitimacy, here you get. Abuse them from today to tomorrow. As long as people call him Mr. President, it doesn't really matter. This is the game, oh. I may be wrong. And all the time, sometimes I actually feel like I like being wrong. Because there's some things that you'd be like, nah, this is so wrong. But yeah, it's wrong, but it is what it is. Here you get. So, their election, when you don't have evidence of rigging approved by the supposed right sources, then you can't prove that they rigged. And even if you do, with glaring evidence, they will just tell you, based on technicality, it's a long shot, sha. However, the obedience says, for people to know that this is not a fluke, this is what they are saying, for all of you doubting them, to know that this is not a fluke. After giving, after retiring 40 National Assembly members from APC and PDP and APGA, so 46 senators, 34 House of Rep members, right? Give me a sec.
Òṣìṣẹ́ àwọn ojú irin ní òun fún onímọ́tò yẹn ń sọ fún pé kó farabalẹ̀ kó má ti wọ ojú irin yẹn, ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n ní òṣìṣẹ́ ìjọba àwọn tó ń ṣèjọba ojú irin, wọ́n ní ó ṣàlàyé fún ọlọ́kọ̀ tó ń wa ọkọ̀ ìjọba yẹn náà, ó ṣàlàyé fún wọn.
Part 2 nìyẹn, but I don't have time to share all of that with you, okay? I know. So you see, those obedients are now saying that they want to elect governors too, so that when Obi goes to court to challenge INEC and all that, they want him to be followed by state governors, Labour Party governors. So it can't be like showdown between obedient and the states they want to elect governors in. In Kaduna, their governorship candidates, Ashake, escaped assassination this evening before this broadcast. In Enugu, well, before the election, they killed somebody that was to be their senatorial candidates contesting against the former governor there, Chimaroke Nnamani. Yeah. Whereas again, like in Lagos, they have declared tribal propaganda and war, which is not really working. So to say, it's actually working against them, okay? They've unleashed that on their candidates in Lagos. In other places where they could hold them, they have offered them enough that some of their candidates are already stepping down for APC. This whole coordinated thing is like they now believe them when they say they will do something. And somehow a lot of those who want to stop them are actually making a lot of mistakes too, exposing their vulnerability and frustration or desperation. For example, when Uncle Jide began the lick ice cream for shopping mall, when did that start?
Let's go, no. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You're welcome, sir.
Long time, man. I ain't expecting a billionaire. There's trouble there now. There's trouble. You go there, go change again. Yes, sir.
Welcome, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Your size 42. Where you know? Your size 42. Yeah, I know, though. You have 32. You have 32 judges.
Like, they are now going out like, hey, you were like this small when I last saw you and the rest of that, you know what I mean? The fear of obedience. Now, with this back and forth of a thing that INEC is doing with Obi, some of them are now saying that they are just waiting. Make them just do the governorship election and all of these things, Make them rig them and the rest so that they go come face this Supreme Court. They have already started telling themselves that blessing our street go settle this, Like I told you the last time, that it might look like, okay, the day of explosion was averted. It wasn't. It was postponed. Now, the Nigeria establishment as well are now getting ready too. That shele stupid, shele crazy. If you go to the street, it will shoot you and all of that stuff. It can't be like, say, okay.